This has paper on it.
Yeah, you can't eat the paper.
Nope.
Now these are
but
made
you can
with.
touch them with your hands.
That is true. 2 kinds of cake mix. And also, one of the little secrets I use diet hot cocoa
can't eat the paper,
packets
girl. I
to
can't
make
eat the paper.
to really amp up the chocolate flavor.
Diet hot cocoa. What is Patty saying over there?
She is causing trouble.
Yeah, no, what makes you think I could eat the paper, boo?
You can't eat the paper. No paper. Paper bad, cake good.
Okay, next.
You're the one that wanted to eat the paper.
I didn't want to eat the paper. What's wrong with her?
Okay, again, the frosting is made out of fat-free whipped cream, like marshmallow cream, which is also a great ingredient, and fat-free cream cheese.
Okay.
Okay.
Must everything
Moving
be a
on.
contest?
Are you okay?
Girl, yeah, but I don't need paper. I just made sure my hands were clean, and when I said to the audience, this is paper,
yes,
I meant that I'm not touching the actual cupcake, boo.
Oh, I see.
You have only missed one performance in your entire career?
Yeah, that I can recall. You know, well, 2 actually, but the one that stands out most in my mind is I was doing this date in Richmond. We were on tour.
Right.
And I was really tired. And the thing that really wipes me out, well, 2 things wipe me out, and that's air conditioning.
Right.
And when I am exceptionally tired,
right.
this just says I ain't working.
No, absolutely.
Okay?
Yeah.
And it was about 3/4 of the way during the tour, and we were on the bus, and we got to Richmond, and I felt it the night before. We played Washington the night before, and I barely made it through, okay? And I said, well, you know, if I can just get out of here and get to bed, maybe by showtime tomorrow night I'll have enough to get through, right? Didn't work that way. Got down there, got ready to walk on that stage, and I went on and opened my mouth, and nothing. You talk about scared. I mean, not nervous, girl.
And this
I
was not
scared.
because your pre-recorded tape ran out, was it? Ooh,
listen,
it was
girl,
organic.
You know that when I think about that, I said, "Ooh, you guys are getting away with murder."
Organic silence.
When
Oh,
y'all
please,
do that,
please.
You know,
Absolutely.
I mean, everything that we ever did was raw.
Live, yeah.
Was raw. Okay,
Yeah.
all the way live. And the pimps looked over there at me and was like, "Well, something wrong with your mic?"
Something like my opening performance.
You know,
So what did you do?
Well, nothing I could do.
mime
I mean, I
performance?
looked at them and I just shook my head. You know, I said,
Wow.
it won't work. And it's the first time, I mean, just to walk off of that stage is like walking the last mile.
Can I ask you about sex?
You want to talk about sex?
Yeah.
On Nationwide TV?
On Nationwide TV, here in the Family Hour. I mean, it's in a lot of your songs. I mean, it's
sex?
Well, lust.
Come on,
feeling.
No.
Good feeling.
You got me mixed up with somebody else.
No,
Ed.
I don't mean sex in an overt sense, but a sexual feeling. It's in a lot of your music.
A sexual feeling.
Yeah.
Would you elaborate on that, please?
Well, you listen to the feeling that comes from your songs.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go back to Give Me My Propers When I Get Home.
Mm-hmm. That's what it does for you.
Sock it to me.
Sock it to me. Lay it on me. Give me a high five.
That
You know
too.
what I'm saying?
That too. But, you know, listen,
Yeah.
a lot of those things are you know, double meanings.
Okay, double entendres. Okay, yeah.
That's
Sock
innocent.
it. What did you think sock it to me meant?
Was that innocent or coincidental?
Now, what did you think it meant,
Well,
Ed?
you come home and give me my propers.
In the early days, we were just a product. You know, you didn't realize your real worth, or as a person, or that you could somehow make a difference in life. You know, or to other people. You were a product, and it was just moving around and selling records and doing interviews and saying things that were not honest, and just a lot of that. But I guess it got more. I don't know, it got real after a while. I had children, I had to take responsibility for myself, and I just had to grow up and just be real. And I didn't start until but also I'm talking about being a woman. I'm feeling all right about making decisions for myself, and that I didn't need a man around to do that exactly, that I could say yes and I could say no if I didn't want to do something, that being in charge of your own self.
You had control of your own destiny and
It was
yourself.
beginning around
Yeah. Yeah, so the idea for In the Groove actually was born from my Facebook feed. I'd been on Facebook for about a year, and I realized that, and I post a lot of music, so, people we started to gel around music, but there were a few people on my feed who were like into music. And I mean into music, like they knew liner notes by heart. And so I was thinking it would be so cool to get these people together to talk about music. I mean, and that's really what we were doing on Facebook, but to film it and let the world see it and get their thoughts, opinions, etc. So I had seen Keondae's music review. And this is something, everyone will know now. When I had the idea, I originally had it in mind for Keondae. I wasn't even planning to participate. I just thought it was cool and something he should do. So we're talking on the phone, and I'm like, yo, Keondae, I have this great idea. Da, 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 da. And he was like, oh, okay, yeah. Now, I was just getting to know Keondae. And I didn't know his flow was like that. And I really took that I was highly offended that he didn't think my baby was beautiful. In my head, that's what I thought. So, the idea went wherever it went, and stayed wherever it stayed. So the pandemic, was strong, and productions were all halted. So projects that I had green lights on just weren't happening. And I was like, I want to do something creative. I'm feeling it. And I came back to the idea, and I said, you know what? I'm going to do this, In the Groove, boom, boom, boom. And that's when the name, everything came up. Now this time, when I talked to Keondae, he's like, of course, dude, I'm there. I'm like, ah. And then everyone was like, of course, dude, I'm there. And they were all there. Then we ended up here, and that's the history and how In the Groove got started. I haven't met Donnell yet. Donnell hasn't met anyone else. Trevor only knows me, has only met me. Keondae's only met me. Rainier's only met me. Sue and Rainier, but I've never met Sue. So that's so beautiful. I think especially in these times to understand, because we have conversations around connection and intimacy, and especially during these moments we can't be there and touch and feel and be in the same space, that we have developed the intimate relationships that we have really via this experience, Facebook, etc. So the bigger thing it's brought in for me is just in thinking of how you connect and relate to people. And I cherish that. And it always warmed my heart that that's something that people watching the show feel and comment on and come back for. The most important thing I would share is the idea of doing what you love, doing what you're passionate about, having an inspired idea and following through with it and allowing it to create. That's what In the Groove was. And so doing it and then having to release, what if this doesn't? And then what if this happens? And all of that stuff, and just being in, let me produce a show I love, talk about things I'm passionate about, have people I love being with, and then allowing. And then watching how the universe shows up, not just with everything I need, that's a given, but everything I desire. And then things I hadn't even thought about, this layer and layer and layer and more and more and more. And I don't like the term embarrassment of riches. Doing the show has created for me an abundance of riches. And that's the thing, the lesson I flow with. I don't know how long the show will go, but I know as long as it goes, it's going to be great. All is well. We'll be doing it well. I will be doing it with people I love. Well, I'll be doing the show with people I love to do the show with. And it will continue to be a wonderful experience. And, all of you out there watching, continue to co-create the experience and keep it wonderful for us. Greetings, greetings, and welcome to the Best of Our Love. I'm Odu, and so glad to have you here for this review and this celebration, actually, of In the Groove's second season. And no, the season's not over yet. Of course, next week we have the finale, but it's beautiful that we get to come together and celebrate some incredible moments that have happened. And look, there are, 5 Groove Masters, 5 special guests, 7 episodes to go through. So grab your drink, grab your seat, and come on in the groove.
When I heard that song, it came out when I was about 3 or 4.
Which was absolutely amazing. I could go on and on. I love her. I love you. Oh, one more thing. Even after.
We're so grateful for the music that has taught us how to love, how to live, how to dance, and how to jam. It's no coincidence that
he just said, you know what, I'm just going to put this song right here at the beginning. It's going to be in America's Songbook. Y'all going to remember it.
It's relevant and on point and on target at all times. And so during this time, it's not the time because you wasn't going to touch your mic, boo-boo.
You've done it before.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. How's it going?
Lord, everything is beautiful on this end. How is everything out there wherever you are, the 4 of you?
I'm great.
I guess I'm just okay from that introduction.
What are you talking about?
It's whatever.
What's wrong with you? Oh, you better get it together. You better get it together before we get into this show. Right about now, Vegas ain't that far away. I see folks in the room already. What's going on, Kevin? What's going on, Stanley? Woo! And that's what happens when you live here. You get a plane every now and then. I don't know if y'all can hear, but don't. Hey, Greta, how are you? Repping from ATL. Well, look, we have a lot to cover tonight, so we're going to jump right on in. But we are, and look, Rainier is back. Hey, what's going on, Marlon? What is up? So before we do, we kick off our shows, and I want to actually start off. This has been a very heavy week, for many different reasons. There's been a lot going on, and while we never ignore that, we also realize that for our wellness, we have to celebrate. We have to acknowledge what is good. We have to acknowledge, all the beauty that we experience. So we're going to kick off the show as we have been doing with All This Blackness. And Grammys happened last Sunday. And, we just got to shout out loud Beyonce. I don't care what you think, what you feel, whatever. She is right now the most awarded female artist of all time with 28 Grammys. So congratulations. That is a huge accomplishment. Got Single Ladies, Crazy in Love, Partition, on and on and on. Go ahead, Beyonce. Also shouts to Ledisi and Nas for their first Grammy wins. Shout to PJ Morton. Continue. It's like an annual experience for him. Do it, PJ. And the beautiful thing is now we know from Megan Thee Stallion that you can win an MTV award 2 years before being a new artist. So that's a beautiful thing. And then now we know that Kanye is a Christian gospel artist because he has taken the Grammy for Best Christian Contemporary Album. And hey, so congratulations to all. And let's get to the toast and get it started. And since, Rainier, we ain't seen you in a month of Sundays, why don't you lead the toast? And why don't you unmute yourself so we can hear you?
I know, wasn't that something? See, I always have to bring the good stuff. So we're toasting tonight I'm toasting with all of you for this season, for last season, just for this journey that we've had together. And we are toasting to everyone that tunes in, everyone that participates in the group. This is all love, and we are giving you the best of our love. So,
cheers, baby.
Cheers.
And like I said, we're just going to jump in. So we have not seen Rainier for different reasons since the beginning of season 2, Battle of the Bands. but you definitely left an impression that we have not forgotten. So let's check out Rainier, and then Trevor's gonna give some commentary after that.
Listen. Say what? Wow, wow, wow.
So, now, the Ohio players. First of all, I don't care. Now, I know they have a few songs that you just be like, skip. But most of the time, you can take an Ohio player song and really get your groove on. Like, you can play, like, the first song all the way to the last song on the album. I love Ohio players because they're sexy. Their album covers, that's all I'm going to say about the album covers. Like, they were like an episode of like a Playboy book, but that's another time. He goes, I want you to hear something. And he puts this album on his surround sound and just set me down. And at first I got a little confused because it was giving me this DC go-go kind of thing. They were doing a little bit. But wait a minute, what is this? I like this. And so that's why I picked this particular album. Now, I've heard all of them going back, but I picked this one because this was where my memory began. To this day, if I have on something a little too snug, or someone say, how that look on me, and I know it ain't fitting just right, I'd be like, that's skin tight. Dun, dun, dun.
Rainier. Well, first of all, let me just say that I love you, and I'm so glad that Odu allowed me to be on this journey to meet you. And what I want to say about you tonight is I love the way that, well, you're the youngest, you're the baby of the group, the baby of the family. And I love the way that when we talk about something, if you haven't heard it, you go and you listen to it, you research it, and then you take your own little journey into it. I love that about you. You tell us how you feel about it, and you also give us this little educated background about the song and about the album. I love that about you. You just take everything. You take the feelings, you take the education, you take the research, and you put it all to one, and it's all Rainier. And then you give it to us, and you let us digest it. And I love that about you. And we ain't gonna talk about the hair and the lashes. I love that. I love those hair. I love that hair and those lashes. I just want to thank you for being on this journey, because through you, I've actually learned a lot about songs that I've listened to and just put to the side. I've gone back and listened to them just because of things that you've said. And that skin tight comment, I'm gonna put that on my voicemail. I love that. I love that. I've listened to it like about 15 times. I love that. Love you, Rainier.
Oh, I love you too, Trevor. And I have so much fun preparing for the shows with all of you. I do. Besides the fact that I just love music, I've learned so much from each and every one of you. And so when I get to throw on a good lash and get to throw on a good look, you know what? I had a big one on. I was like, okay, not tonight. The earrings are good. The earrings are good. But I love, like, you all are my big brothers. And that's real. And I would go to the ends of the earth for you, with you, and instead of you. So I love you.
Okay, they're gonna start this early. They're gonna start the journey early. And you know, Rainier, we love having you here. As Trevor said it all and more. So thank you. And shout out to Charles, shout out to Greta. Yes, the Ecstasy cover, and Rainier talked about the cover, so we must shout out model Pat Evans, who is still doing and still looking fantastic. So, and for folks who are just tuning in, this is the Best of Our Love. The show is a little different tonight because we are looking back at the season and sharing some of our favorite moments. But there's also some new music that's going to come your way too. Rest assured, you know how we do things here. So we're going to move into, that was the first episode. Then the second episode of the season was Love is the Message, where we looked at the romantic side of TSOP. And Donnell is always interesting, but he had some very interesting moments in this episode. So we're going to show those, and then we're going to let Kehinde give a little words after that.
Channing gets on that stage, you getting everything. And if you can't handle it, that's your problem. And so that's why I like the way he approaches the song, and he just puts all of his emotion and all of his guts out there for you to feel it and for you to.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I can't wait. Everything my love goes wrong.
Sorry, y'all. I don't like that song. I don't. But and then my mother and my aunt played it all the time. And I just did not like that song. But then when You Know How to Make Me Feel So Good came up, I had a hard time believing that that was the same singer, same duet partner on the song that I did not like so much. So I actually chose that song and I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. It has a little bit of a step to it. You could step to it, as Trevor said. And another real quick thing that Trevor mentioned that I always piggyback on, like Odu said earlier, we could probably do a whole show on Teddy Pendergrass and dance songs and how you are in the club when that Teddy Pendergrass song comes up, because that whole da 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 do do.
Enough your squeeze in, enough your love. I can't get enough, just can't get enough. Can't get enough of your love, child. No matter how I try. Oh no.
Oh, wow. Well, this is the perfect time for Donnell to jump in. But I gotta say this, Donnell, you are my dog, you are my buddy, and I am loving you on this show, and I'm loving taking this friendship journey with you. I love the energy that you bring to the show. It's such a joyful, youthful energy to the show. You're like a little kid, like a big kid, actually. You say whatever you feel like saying. You ain't worried about it. You're going to jump in when you feel like jumping in, and it's just going to be all right. But I love your insightfulness. I love your knowledge. I love your passion that you bring to the show. It's a wonderful thing to watch show after show. And even outside of the show, I love when you send me a text message saying, did you know this, that, or that? I'm like, no, but I'll look it up. Or our conversations, it's just wonderful. I can't imagine in the groove not having you on it. I can't imagine me having such a wonderful, wonderful friend to share music with and just discuss life with. So thank you for being part of this journey. Thank you for bringing all of you to the table. And thank you for your passion, your energy, your love. And I'm learning from you all the time. I'm always watching. I also love when you just break out in the laughter. It's just the most wonderful thing. The head goes back and you just let us have it. But I love that. Wonderful thing to watch. Thank you. I love you so much.
Oh my gosh. I feel like I've gotten the Grammy. Thank you. I'm speechless. I normally would have something to say. I normally would have something to say, and I wouldn't. I can't think of anything now. But no, thank you for this. Thank you, Odu, also for even getting this format set up so that we can all share what we all love. all of you I've called, with the exception of Rainier, I've called individually at one time or another over the phone. Keondae have a special thing because Keondae and I would talk at 3 o'clock in the morning about Anita Baker. And so, and not be bothered about it. And I thank you for introducing me to someone that don't mind doing something like that with me, because there's very few folks that will keep my schedule and very few that can hang with me. So thank you for that. Thank you so much. And thanks for allowing me to share myself and all of myself.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, and that's Donnell speechless. Imagine if he had words. So let me just piggyback on Keondae. But you know, Donnell, we love you down and everything Keondae said. If you just join us, I see what's up, Kay. Yes, and let us know some of your favorite moments from this season. Some of you who've been watching, some of the favorite songs that you've heard, etc. As we go, well, hey. So my time. So I am told very often by a couple of people on the show that I talk a lot and about the stuff I say. So I was getting ready for this show and Rainier pulled some clips from Wonderland. And I realized I am actually not the one who talks as much as these other two people think I do. So let's watch them and then I'll come back and share.
By Gay and other albums like his, Wonder put together Music of My Mind.
My woman wanted to be a superwoman, but I decided to tell her goodbye. Because I can't spend all my hours starting to cry. Oh, very well. I believe I know you very well. Listen, you know me too very well. And I think I can deal with everything.
So let's get into it, and we're going to start Keondae.
Oh my goodness. So I'm so excited to start with Music of My Mind. It was the first of his classic period, and it is my go-to Stevie album. It's everything for me. It was released March 3rd in 72, like a month and a half after I was born, so I'm still kind of close to it. Yes, but it's a phenomenal album. And I was intrigued, first of all, just the cover of it, the face of him in the sunglasses, and you're seeing his reflection. As a kid, I used to look in it trying to see my reflection. Can I see myself too? But after that, I got into the music, and the music has stuck with me throughout the years. And I can't get into all the songs, but Superwoman, thank you for that clip. I appreciate that. Superwoman is that song that everyone, but it's two songs in one. That's the fabulous thing about it. You get two songs in one. You get the mid-tempo Superwoman, then it goes into the dramatic, slowed down version of Superwoman, what people call Where Were You When I Needed You. I mean, I love every little thing about you, Happier Than the Morning Sun. Absolutely brilliant. So that is my go-to Stevie album, and one that I cherish. I have a place in my heart right here. But Odu, you mentioned Syreeta Wright earlier, so let's introduce her into the conversation. For many people who don't know, Syreeta Wright was his wife. They were married for 1.5 years, but not only was she married to Stevie, they were creative partners, they were friends, and they recorded and wrote some incredible music together.
I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. I believe when I fall in love with time, it will be forever.
I love this song. I believe when I fall in love with you, it will be forever. So I used to think that was just like the cutest song. Oh, I believe when I fall in love with you. And the way he stylized it, he put parentheses around I believe. And I used to say to myself, oh, he's with somebody and, okay, it's going to be forever. And he really believes that. He has hope and he has faith and everything. Oh, that is so cute. But then when I found out the story about put myself in those shoes. He just had gone through a divorce with Syreeta, and they were working together and they were writing songs together. And I was like, bullshit, and I always say to myself, every time I hear that song. I don't see how he and Syreeta could have written that song. And it's such a beautiful song. Every time I hear it, I go through so much. I'm just like, ugh. How the hell could they do it? How the hell could they do it? but I love the song, but it just takes me through it. I'm like, Stevie, how could you do that? Sarita, how could you do it?
I love Sarita Wright. I love her voice. I love her approach to lyrics, and she's just amazing. So that's all I got to say about Sarita. I could go on and on. I love her. I love Stevie. Oh, one more thing.
So first I wanted to say, Keondae, please take a breath, because Keondae was trying to fit it all in. And then Stevie said, and then he sang it anyway, and then it's 2 songs in one. So Trevor was talking to somebody in the room he just met. He was like, look, if we ever break up, don't call me. And I was like, is somebody in there? Yeah, so it took y'all 15 minutes to talk about one album and one song. Case closed. There's nothing more I ever need to say or need to hear. But I will say, and actually did a piece for earlier, but didn't include it. So we'll come back to me. Let's go. I'm going to come back to say a couple of things about y'all. Give me a second. Let's do it like that. Because what I do want to talk about is the In the Spirit episode, because y'all weren't here. And I know y'all been dying to talk about that. So let's get into that. Even though y'all weren't here, Sue was out here with me. And then we had a couple incredible guests, Pastor Greg Stamper, my pastor, and then of course, Tim Dillinger Currington. Amazing. So let's look at a piece of that. And then I want to hear back from y'all since y'all weren't here with me on that show.
Touching all these different worlds. And these kids in the 60s had a whole different pastiche going on in terms of how they were formulating music. So you had Joe Cocker coming from England saying, I want Sister Mary Clayton on my records, and I want Ray Charles singers on my records. So because Ray and Aretha and Sam had also already done the other work of taking gospel and putting secular lyrics on it. But Ray Charles wanted nothing but his group to sound like the Davis Sisters. That's all he wanted. Aretha wanted to be Clara. She wanted the Ward singers, you know. And so gospel was already touching millions and millions of people.
The gospel music is Black music. And that's very important, you know, in terms of understanding the roots and the historical nature of where it comes from and how it's evolved. And then beyond that, it's music that is rooted in feeling, right? It's music that can only come from lived experience, right? You know, that only the sound can articulate it, right? You try to put it just words or just talk about it, that doesn't do it. But sometimes it's the scream, the squeal, the moan, you know, or the bending of a lyric, right? Not melisma, but the bending of a lyric that indicates pain or struggle or overcoming and victory.
Nobody moan and groan and you know, and it's nothing against my brothers, but if you want to feel, let the mother of the church stuff, let the mother. You don't got to have the right note, but when the mother starts singing, you know, something's good. The atmosphere is going to change. Something is going to happen, in
Yes.
that place. That is the power that women have, right? When they open their mouths to sing gospel.
All right. That was
Yes.
part of the spirits in it. If you haven't seen that episode, you want to go back and check it out. And that was a piece of the Won't She Do It package. And then I added on as a dedication to Sue, Dawn Tallman, and House Gospel Choir. Definitely, y'all want to go out and support them. Pick up their stuff. They're amazing, amazing, amazing. Hey, EJ, what's going on? And I'm sorry, I meant to have Keondae and Trevor talk about themselves after that, but we're going to come back to that. Don't worry. So they can say what they need to say to me and get me back. But right now, we're going to stay in the spirit. So, Keondae, I want to start with you because, you know, you have an incredible background in gospel music. So you saw the show. Did we do it justice?
You absolutely did it justice. I was so excited about this show and so excited watching the show. Well, first because gospel is the first music that I remember, and the knowledge and passion, use that word again, that Sue and Pastor Greg and Tim brought to the show just kept me engaged the entire time. I didn't want it to end. The packages were amazing. You threw some stuff in there I didn't expect you to. And I just felt in the spirit throughout the whole thing. I was like, yes, I'm over here having church with y'all watching and throwing my shoes and slinging snot and all that kind of stuff. But it was really an amazing show. It was awesome. I loved it. I loved it when it was over. I was like, oh, come on now. But it was great. It was great. Everybody was out. And you did have a lot to say. I know you wanted to chill on that episode, but what you brought was definitely valuable to the conversation. So I love the entire show from beginning to end.
Thank you. Thank you. And I know Rainier had also had some things she wanted to say.
Well, that entire episode, it was just something to listen to everyone that was part of the show, because they had their own background, whether it was the history of it, whether it was the experience of it, or just the knowledge of it. It was like being in a class. Everyone brought something, like one of those master classes, but filled with different people in different places, but all about being in the spirit. And I watched that episode, and I'm a church girl. Like that was my whole young adult existence. And so to hear a lot of the music that I knew, and then be exposed to a lot of the music that I did not know, but was the foundation of it all, it just had me researching and looking back at some of that music and being like, wow, it's amazing how we got from there all the way here. But the whole purpose of it was to bring our people together and to move us in faith.
Thank you. Thank you. And I'm paying attention to y'all, but Charles wrote something. So I was looking at it, and I won't be able to say everything. If people are in the comments, please read. He's talking about something he published. So definitely you want to check it out and check it out. Look, Sue is talking to me. Look, we're just going to be family on this show. Sue, we sticking with the program. Don't worry. We guest is next. So I ain't trying to type and talk. So Trevor, anything you want to add about that episode?
Yeah, when that episode was on, I was actually driving, so I was only listening to it. But I had to actually go back and look at it. I wanted to put the bodies with the voices and everything, but I already knew who it was. But the thing about it is, growing up as a Catholic, I understood gospel music because my mom is Baptist, grandmother and everything. But I really didn't attach myself to gospel music until I was a teenager. And then that show, it was like just giving so much background on gospel. And I love that. I haven't really had that background to gospel music. I love it. I listen to it all the time. But then to hear that background, and just like Rainier said, the different perspectives, it was just amazing to me. I love that show. It was totally different from anything that we've ever done. but it was amazing. It was amazing, and I loved it. And I especially loved Sue's comments about the women of the church. You know, I feel that Black women carry the weight of the world on their shoulders, and when they sing, when they're singing about God, when they're singing about Jesus, it comes out. You can feel it, you can hear it. You know, and I love that comment that Sue said. I love that.
Hey, thank you, Trevor. I'm sorry, me and Sue talking. She cussing me out because I did skip a section. And you know, we're gonna do it like this. If you've watched the show before, you know it don't go like this, but this is how we doing it tonight. So yes, Sue, we'll do guests and Odu, then the part after that. But let's go to Donnell right now, because I know there was some things Donnell wanted to say about the episode.
I don't know what you're talking about. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, you do.
But,
and if you didn't have nothing to say, you'll say something regardless. So just go ahead. And
exactly right. You know, I'll find something. I'd be speechless. No, but yes, I watched that episode a second time fully after it aired that first night. It was just so informative through Tim, who seemed to have so much to offer, and you would think that that would be the one who would be able to offer the least. Oh no, he gave to but you said he would. He brought his research, and he had his facts down, and it was so wonderful to hear him share. And it was great to meet your pastor, Greg, who you spoke so highly of in the past, to meet him at least on the screen through watching the screen. But nothing is going to beat Sue.
Come on.
Nothing is going to beat Sue snatching up that tambourine the minute that Lolita Holloway in the Jubilee Showcase segment. Lolita Holloway hit that field holler, and Sue made that face. And she snatched up that tambourine, and she was just working it. You better. She was just working, and I was like, yes. And all throughout that segment and several other segments, Sue was in church. I know that Sue is a minister, yes, a pastor, a reverend. Okay, a reverend. I'm sorry. So you can tell I can. You can tell I grew up Jehovah's Witnesses, because I can't tell you the difference between any of them, except they all. But she was in her glory, and it was a joy seeing her feel it. It was a joy seeing her feel it, and I felt it as a result.
Oh yeah, and it was beautiful to be here for that episode. You know, as y'all know, I even kind of, as Keondae said, I didn't necessarily know if I was the right person to do that episode, and not because I'm not attached to gospel music. It's just, look, we had done Soft and Wet the week before. So I really did. I probably needed to be here. I need to be baptized on that episode, or re-baptized on that episode. But it was beautiful, you know, and as Donnell said, I think that's the great thing. Whenever we have guests, they bring as much, if not, you know, as we bring to the show. And so we had those incredible guests on that show. And we've had some other guests in the season, and they maybe have been in a different kind of spirit. So let's watch some of that, and then Donnell's been here with both guests, so we'll let him share after this.
Inside you, once again, I love the way you say it. Just for me, a lady in the purest sense of elegance.
He knew how to be nasty without being overtly nasty, and so he had that art to it. Mm-hmm. And so he has this song called "Just My Way," and I just want to just share with you the verse real quick so you can just understand it. He goes, "Feel me, take me in slowly, so you can understand how deep my love can go. Baby, your river is flowing, so let me just fill you up till you just overflow." I was like, sir, my sir, You know, sir, it's just like if you're gonna say something like that and make it poetic at the same, like that just gets me like right there. Besides, he's fine. Like it's just
That's
what
what
it
we're
is.
waiting on.
Have a whole straw to the bath water, just fine.
Yeah.
It is what it
I
is.
just start rapping about my ex-husband. I'm just talking about him like a dog. The engineer, Roger Anderson, records it without my knowledge. I had no idea he was. So we finish, we're laughing, we're having a great time, and, take this dog with you, that kind of thing. And all of a sudden, it starts to play back in the studio. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. I told everybody what was happening in my house. So
That's all right.
obviously, I think what was happening in a lot of houses because there were so many young women, in my age group and younger who were so attached to that song, who were like, yes, girl, tell it, and, women had a specific role back in those days. We weren't allowed to do certain things. We had, we were at the mercy of the record labels. It's like, no, you have to wear this, or you have to wear your hair like that, or you gain 5 pounds, you need to lose that, and blah, that kind of thing. And so I think at that point, women were really coming into their own about, well, wait a second. I want a little control here because, I'm the one that's out there on the stage doing all this. And then it turns out that I actually, because they kept that particular song, I wrote Runaway Love. And yes. And don't come around holding me and kissing me, talking on that jive and getting my keys up, then leaving me and running off to someone else's arms, breaking up my heart and soul and leaving me stuck with all my tears, heartaches and emotions. Hey. With love and devotion. So stop.
And Donnell, just before you get started, of course, that was David Sosa, who was with us with Soft and Wet, and don't worry, Kay, it is Miss Linda Clifford when you say it like that. You're good. Who was with us for Behind the Groove. And all right, Charles, I know you were from the 504. So yeah, Donnell, you were here with us for both guests. And since we had the tech difficulty and you didn't get to speak directly to Miss Linda Clifford, we're going to let you talk now about some of your moments with those guests.
Okay. Well, Miss Linda, it was such a joy to have her with us. I always thought about show as that little show, not that little show, but not unimportant, but just friends getting together to talk. And when Miss Linda came in our group and felt comfortable enough to be one of those friends just to sit and talk, as opposed to being something all official and, let me make sure I use my Queen's English and all that stuff. She came and she felt like she was at home. And she was at home. And I love that she felt comfortable to do that. That's, in fact, about both her and about David. Miss Linda, she was like, I expected her to be like everybody's mama, but she was more like everybody's sister. And I felt she had no problem with us being on a level, if you will, of her. Usually if someone is in Linda's generation, it's auntie, mama, is that type of thing, and she was like, no, y'all gonna come over here and y'all gonna just hang with me. And so it was a good experience. No, she couldn't get her mic to work for nothing. She's like, where's Odu? I can't hear Odu. Okay, where's Donnell? I can't hear Donnell. And of course you do remember the translating debacle. Okay, well, Donnell forgot we was cocktailing, so I'm gonna try to remember everything that he said.
See, now I left that out to be nice to you. Remember,
No,
the
but that
show's
was
not
great.
over yet. And
That
just
was
for
great.
folks out
That was
there,
great. I mean, please.
season 3, this little show may have an opening. So if you like music, hit me up. Now
Yes.
continue, Donnell.
No, I'm so serious that it was just an absolute joy for her to be here, and David David Sosa again with the although he doesn't appear here every week, he's been on 2 shows, one last season and one this season. When he gets into the group, judging from the tangent of the conversation that Odu takes, he's like, it seems like that Odu and David has this thing going where, because Odu had to say, David, no, you won't. You're not going to take the show off the rails like you did last time. No. We will not be talking about, because last season I mistakenly said Shirley Caesar when I meant Shirley Murdoch. And David pounced. And we all had been cocktailing, and so this season with the soft and wet episode, and David was talking about he was talking about Eric Benet, and sir, my sir. It was just funny to see him do that. He would definitely he fit right in. That's the one thing I would say about both Miss Linda and David. They both fit in like. The show had started with them already in it, and they had taken this entire journey with us. It goes to show how special we are, because they feel comfortable being with us, and we make it feel comfortable for them to come and be with us and to be themselves. And that's a rare thing, be it a little show or a big show. Because when you come and you sit over somebody's house, when you sit on somebody's TV talk show host, there's going to be nerves, and there's going to be things that go wrong, and there's going to be things that happen that you don't expect, and we all handle it. And they were comfortable despite those things, or maybe because of those things. So big kudos to the both of them. I became Facebook friends with both of them right after those respective shows ended, and so I really enjoyed them being here.
Yeah, and they had a blast. And Miss Clifford, she still says, I feel bad. So we may have to have her come back on just so she can have a one-on-one with Donnell on our little show. And
oh God.
And David's my boy. I mean, and that's the other thing when we talk about my church. David goes to our church too. So just imagine like a Sunday at church with David, Rainier, me, Shelly from last season, and the list goes on. And I know, these clips have kind of given y'all a hard time tonight, but I've had my moments too, as Rainier kind of pointed out when she was going through some of the episodes. And it seems like this season, my mind was on something that my mind is rarely on. But let's just watch, and then we'll kind of take it from there. So. Lubricated. It was nightclubbing and she hung. I thought it was just a song about hanging out in New York. I was like, lubricated. And then it was like, okay, big black limousine. And then once I got the grease it sprayed, I was like, all right, we clearly know what is going on. I thought the song was you going to come over and visit her house. But if you ever see Raw sing it live, and I've seen her sing it multiple times live, the house is, she talking about visiting the Busch Gardens, the house. Like, cause if you want to move in with me. And I was like, as a child, I just didn't get that. So, that Brooke, what? When you want to visit my house, you want to stop by. Right. There's a welcome mat at the door. If you come on in, you're going to get much more. Right. To this moment, you didn't know till right now. That's why we're here. Yeah. So, okay. I don't know what the obsession was this season. And of course, that last part is from The Real Thing, our tribute to Ashford and Simpson. You definitely want to go back and check that out. But Rainier, I know you had some words for me.
I do have some words for you on so many levels, but words for the show. Okay, let me stick to the show. So, a lot of people, I work with you and I see you, the passion, the hard work, the late hours, the early morning. Well, it's usually still part of the same night, but it's early. It's early mornings, like all of the work that you put into making this show everything that it is. And I'm sure I can speak for everyone here that even if they haven't spoken or will speak, just how much we appreciate being part of this is your baby. This is your vision. This was birthed out of not just your love of music, but your desire for everyone else to experience music the way that you do. And so when I watched the clips, because, I went through all of the clips, I was really tickled that you got stuck on that particular thing, because that did not seem quite like you. But it is you, because you have this way of finding laughter. You have this way of speaking, and even when you're passionate about something and you're off into all that is you still have this way of bringing it in and making us smile, or having us catching a tear, or making us remember. And that's not just as a host. That's, I have my own name for you, but that's as the one, don't make me out you, but that's just as the one, that's just as the one that is just, you're more than a friend. You're family. You're like family. And you cared enough to grab us all to bring us along with you. And I can't speak for anyone else, but I'm going to try in this moment. I know I am not the same because of you. Everything I've learned from you, everything you push us to do when we get ready for these shows, everybody watch you. I'm telling you, that spot he was talking about, you don't want it. Everything that you push us to do for these shows, and how you push us to be better on screen and off screen. Yeah. Everybody may see you here, but we feel you here. So we thank you for that.
See, this is one of Rainier's tricks from last season. She want to do these Kleenex things when she know we still got more show to do. I thank you for that. I thank you for that. Received. That's all I will say right now. But I will give not Donnell. Lord knows, let's not give Donnell the mic right now. I'll give Keondae and Trevor a moment to get back at me. I love y'all, but come on, y'all. Y'all was in Wonderland for hours. So
well,
I don't know.
It was Stevie. You can't just say a few words when it comes to Stevie. You got to go in. I was ready to go in. So I ain't have no problem with it.
You went in, you sat down, you cooked a meal, you watched something on TV, you got up, you peed twice, you left, realized you forgot your coat, came back.
Thank you for noticing. Yes. So yeah, I loved it. I had a good time. So, and you said we ain't in a hurry, so hey, it was what it was, and it is what it is. So, but I was watching. I was like, did I talk that long about that album? But okay.
Baby, that was the abridged version, baby. Baby, you gave one of those like Hall of Fame recipient award things that day. But it's all love, baby. It's all love. Trevor, anything? Have you gotten over that moment?
Yeah, I'm over it. That was quite embarrassing looking at that, but thank you. No, well, Stevie, just like Keonde said, Stevie will do that to you. You know, I mean, our emotions for Stevie are as vast as his catalog. You know, and so we could have talked about him all night. I'm sure we could have gone on and on and on. And
Yes, you did.
and yeah, like I said, thank you for embarrassing me, but I want to jump on what Rainier said. I just want to thank you for this journey. This has been an incredible journey. Like Rainier said, this has changed me, and you and I, we've known each other, met each other before this journey, and I just want to say that before this journey you were this person. I didn't know that you were this person. You know, you were one person to me. Now that I see this journey, I've already had respect for you, but now it's just the respect is just like skyrocketed, you know, and this is something special. This is not just a quarantine little dude. This is not. This is something special, and people see that, and I thank you for that, and I thank Keonde, I thank Donnell, and I thank Rainier, and I thank Sue, because this has been awesome. This has been awesome. This is a part of my life now. You know, this is awesome. This has really been awesome, and I thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. And you brought up Sue. And so here's the thing for folks watching. They think Sue is about to come out for a dedication, but Odu is always up to some tricks. This is actually not going to be what you think it is. This is my dedication to y'all. I took the themes from the season and picked a song for each of you. So Sue, why don't you roll it, and then I'll talk after this.
No, this is.
If you need me, call me. No matter where you are, no matter how far, just call my name. I'll be there in a hurry. On that you can depend and never worry.
To be invisible will be my claim to fame. A man with no name. That way I won't have to feel the pain. Indispensable, just a plain old human being. Today don't mean a thing in a world that's so mean, a world that seems not for me. So privately I'll be invisible. That way I won't have to explain a thing, if you know what I mean. I won't even have to be here on the scene.
Slow you down sometimes. I like to try and change your mind. You're really not the one to blame. You sweet sticky I was a bird
So I mentioned earlier the stand on the word. I included that piece in the spirit for Sue, because Sue has talked about her experience connecting with gospel in the clubs, etc. And even though she was on that episode, I wanted to give her a taste of something different and something special that connects us. And for this, I normally don't like to read things, but I think I need to read these just to make sure I say everything I want to say, or at least glance at the page. So we're going to go in this order. Rainier. It's fun. And so I went to Battle of the Bands, and you picked the Ohio Players. And it's funny, I hadn't even watched the episode again. And I remember during that episode, I wanted to include Sweet Sticky Thing, and it just wasn't a space for it. But why I picked that song as a dedication for you. You know, we met, and at the time we met, we were both going through some things. And I've just watched you re-evolve. And I've watched you spread. And I've watched you shine and glow. And I've watched how you've just embraced all these aspects of you, and you're comfortable with them. And there's so much of you, and there's so much in abundance that you share them with the world. And it's all the ooh la la. And so that you have said, you know what, I have this sweet sticky thing, and I'm just going to just leave a trail everywhere that I go. And so that's why I had to pick that song for you. And it's just been remarkable to see and feel. So thank you for bringing that, not just to this show, but to the world. Trevor, I told you a long time, I know I said I'm going to read the thing, I just got to talk, that when we were on Facebook and we started to connect musically, that you reminded me of me as a child. Like, we like all the same records and stuff, and I could see us sitting on the floor listening to records. And so I picked this one, it's Curtis Mayfield. And that's why I picked this version. But To Be Invisible, because while the idea I think people consciously think about is a person who wants to be invisible, I think the other part of the song is actually about wanting to be seen, and wanting to be known, and wanting to be experienced, and wanting to be loved. And that's such a childhood feeling for me. And I think sometimes in our relationship that we've had that thing of not seeing each other or experiencing each other a certain way. And so I picked that because I wanted you to know that you are always seen, always heard, and always loved. So that's my dedication to you. Donnell, the first conversation, deep music conversation we had was about the Four Elements, which ended up being the first show. And we know you love Live Patty. Even shows you ain't been on, I just put a long Patty package on. I said, Donnell, go watch, go see this Patty. It's always this Patty, the Fire Patty. But I know you love the Quiet Patty. And I know you love Come With May. And in addition, for our connection, you've, especially some people know, you know, I've challenged myself around writing. And you've said to me, you need to just do it. You need to just put it out there. So the lyrics, I'll never be afraid of who I am and who I'm not, come what may, has been something you've reinforced for me. You said, you know what? It doesn't matter what people think. It doesn't matter what they say. You just continue to do it, and you continue to bring what you're supposed to bring to the world. So that's why I dedicate that song to you. And Keondae, the first time we ever talked, I was in a really dark place, and it was a powerful conversation, and you didn't even know that. It was just we were having this conversation. But I started to talk about ideas, and you said to me, you know, whatever you come up with, whatever you create, whatever you want to do, I'm down. And that was our first phone conversation. So it was just the way you showed up for me, especially at that moment. And that it's been authentic. I mean, the way you've come aboard this season to co-produce, and like Donnell, look, I will hit Keondae up, and it'll be 3 a.m. Can you find 4 album covers that ... and and they're there. And so that idea of that song, no matter what, through what, regardless, that's how I experience you. And I had to pick the Valerie Simpson doing it because I know she holds a special place in your heart. So that's and as all of you hold very special places in my heart. So thank you all.
Thank you. Oh man, I can't wait to meet y'all. I'll tell you, it's gonna be a big old party. I tell you.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Surely.
I'm down for it.
I'm sitting here shaking. You got me all emotional and everything.
I know I almost lost the last.
You got another one waiting.
That one just instantly come back up in the eye. She don't even just poof, and here it is, a new lash. So, that is our journey with the best of our love. Again, this was a departure from how we normally do the show, but I am so happy we did this and that it was this week especially. I think I needed this week. So I'm so thankful to all of you for being here, and so thankful for all of you for being here with us this week. And then we get to next week, the season finale. And we'll kind of go back to the shows you're used to. And the season finale is 4 women. We're honoring the 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame nominees, Shaka Khan, Tina Turner, Dionne Warwick, and Mary J. Blige. So this is going to be a phenomenal show that will end an incredible season. Hey, on that, so we might as well stay in the emotions. We're going to close out with one of the ending from this season that has gotten the greatest response. And that's with our angel, Phyllis Hyman. So there's nothing really left to say. Thank you all for watching. We will see you next week for the season finale and 4 women. And again, love you all out there. Love you, Sue. And love you all right here. All right.
The song was written by Linda Creed, a very talented writer. She's a lyricist, and throughout the 70s and early 80s, she wrote most of the hits that came out of Philadelphia International, the Philly sound. Not most of them, but her and Tom Bell wrote quite a few of them. She wrote the lyrics to Betcha by Golly Wow. She wrote the lyrics to I Don't Want to Lose You, the lyrics to The Greatest Love of All. And she had been battling cancer for 12 years. And Tom Bell gave the tune to me, and I fell in love with it.
Yes, I tried to live my life without you, knowing I had lost my closest friend. But I fell in love from time to time, knowing I would never find the kind of love I had when you were mine. You were mine. So nice feeling you hold me once again. Doesn't matter where you've been, my heart welcomes you back home again. My heart welcomes you back home.